Peace, peace, peace. Shalom, shalom. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. And welcome to another day to labor in the vineyard of the Most High with your brother. Another day to get in the almighty glorious word to see what the Most High got to serve. And what we eating on? We back to the elevated teachings out the keys that take us higher, higher. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So what we got out the lesson last week, what they revealed to me was the reason we need to know that the second coming already happened is because we are to be sanctified and set apart. And if we looking forward to the same thing as all of the religious church house people that are not a part of the tribe of light, we not sanctified, we not set apart. Because we looking forward to the same thing that they looking forward to. Which means our consciousness is on a similar level to theirs. Nah, they want to set us apart completely so we know what's going on and what's to come and what's to already happened. So if you know the second coming already happened, then you got more of the pieces onto the history. Because you know that the Gentiles have changed all the history. So when Yahshua died, all right, that was the end of our reign, running the world, period. At that time, it was just Rome coming into its own. But that was the changing of the guard right there. All right, that was the changing when the Gentiles, that's why all of the destruction that we seen in that lesson took place for. Jerusalem was threw down on that side of the world, and over here, in the West, it was just complete destruction. Alright? That was the changing of the guard right there. That's also how you know that those teachings on when you come back, you can decide what race you want to be and what situation you want to go into. Nah. How many niggas would have wanted to not be niggas no more? Knowing that the Gentiles were going to enslave us. No, that's another way that you know that don't even make no sense right there. How many people would have volunteered and came back as white folks to escape slavery? Wouldn't have been hardly no niggas on the planet. Nah, so you know that's a false teaching right there. That you get to pick where you gonna come back into. Nah. Also, if you seen that lesson and you then read the Book of Mormon, you gotta know that the transatlantic slave trade was a lie. Because the Book of Mormon lets you know we was already here. It won't no need for them to go get us from over there, because we was already here. And even after the destruction that took place when Yahshua died, it was still ones of us left here. Alright, so we were still multiplying, and this was the last place that they found us at. The Gentile reign of terror started in the east. Alright? This was the last place they found us at. The Most High say the best for last. Y'all niggas is gonna get got last. Man, this is gonna be the worst, and this is where they gonna set up their true throne. Right here, like Lucifer said in Isaiah 14. Alright? He was gonna set it up amongst the tribes of the north. Alright? Right over here. But this lesson right here, we're gonna see why our inheritance ain't necessarily what the carnal minds is looking for. Alright? The inner heavens and going through the system, the solar system, the Father universe. Alright? These are some of the things that the chosen and sanctified are looking forward to. Alright? We looking forward to the return of the chariots, the sons of light, that's going to teach us how to continue and advance to the next stages of creation. Alright, we ain't to be looking forward to the second return like the rest of them. Nah, that already happened. We looking to be elevated to get our Adam Cadman body back electrified, to get our light bodies back, so that we can advance like our brothers on the other side of the tribe, the ones that's on the other side of the veil. Alright, so that we can travel like we see on these movies. That's why the majority of us, yeah, we into all that sci-fi stuff, because in our spirit, we know it's true. Alright? But, let's eat. Let's eat. That was just a little rant to start the lesson that the spirit put on me to go ahead and share. Alright? We're going into the keys. All of the scriptures tell us our history. So the Gentiles can't lie, but if all you got is the Bible, then they can trick you and give you that transatlantic slave trade, along with you waiting on the second coming. But once you tie the first stick to the second stick, you automatically know that we was already over here. We weren't brung over here. You already know the second coming happened. You already know that a bunch of their lies that they told us in history is made up. You also know that the scriptures have been corrupted, because it tells us that in the Book of Mormon. Alright, and also tell you that it's many more books to come, because the Most High had us writing whatever that He sent us to. Alright, so let's go ahead and eat and continue to code our consciousness and to expand our mind. That's part of the sealing of the saints. You get sealed in your mind, in your mind's eye, by your consciousness. Alright? Let's start in key 105, page 43. Starting at verse 1. This key is speaking directly of consciousness programming. It is telling us that consciousness programming is connected with the Great Pyramid, which is referred to in the mystical scriptures of the ancient Near East as the foundation stone. Alright? The Great Pyramid was aligned with Mintaka, Al-Nalim, and Al-Natak, and Tak Orion. Alright, let's get a picture of this right here, so you can see. Now remember, on the movie Men in Black, the famous saying, the key to the universe is on Orion's belt. We're going to see that in this lesson right here. Alright, we're going to understand how the Gentiles, they already know all this stuff right here. Alright, that's how they know what's about to happen with us. And they know who is returning, which is why they clearing the land and everything. They know all what's supposed to happen. It's just the fallen entities and set up the religions and everything to really dumb us down. They ain't worried about the Gentiles staying stuck in the religion. Nah, it's us. We the time clock. Alright, so you see the 3 right there. And the Great Pyramid is just one of the pyramids that's aligned to those 3 stars right there in Orion. These are the central threshold controls, or the region of positive programming, used by the Elohim, Lords of Light, to connect the many galaxies to our Father Universe. Alright, and we know the galaxies is clusters of stars. Within our galactic quadrant, these threshold controls are necessary in coordinating celestial navigation between universes. These threshold controls are necessary in coordinating celestial navigation between universes. Through the energies of Orion, the central threshold control, the higher beings of light move across the waters of the deep. Alright, there's another reason the Gentiles spray so much stuff in the air to truly hide the heavens. Just keep us blind to what's going on above us and across from us. Alright, let's go to key 107, page 61, starting at verse 4. Moreover, the lords of light, through the council of 9, which is a group of celestial teachers, coordinate and synchronize through this central field of energy in Orion all of the pyramids of all galaxies or star clusters in our sun universe. Pause. Let's get a definition. Let's get the definition of pyramids. Pyramids. The select pyramid time clocks built in various planetary sectors by earlier rounds of higher intelligence for watching or directing the destiny of an experiment. And remember the lesson we did on the program called Israel, which is a program. All right, that's what the experiments they talk about. The Alpha Omega is a program as well. They are coded time structures. All right, so the pyramids are used to direct the destiny. All right, they're used by the higher intelligence. They the ones that planted them. And that's why all of them are aligned to different constellations, which the majority is aligned to Orion. But let's keep going. Moreover, the lords of light, through the council of 9, coordinate and synchronize through the central field of energy in Orion all of the pyramids of all galaxies in our sun universe, which use the programs of the Eternal Father, the programs of the higher mind, the higher consciousness. The major central control pyramid of light. Pause, let's get that definition. Pyramid of light. Pyramid of light. The central model used in connecting the biomagnetic network of the body, the planetary body, and the interplanetary body. Look at the Trinity right there. All right. The body, the planetary body, and the interplanetary body of the cosmos with higher evolutionary orders. The pyramid of light is connected with the specific throne center for the filtering or dissemination of divine wisdom. Alright, and it says right here, the major central control pyramid of light in our Father universe is Orion. The key to the universe is on Orion's belt. The major central control pyramid of light in our Father, our section of the universe is Orion. And in our local universe is Sagittarius. Alright, let's get some info on Sagittarius. Let's go to page 181. Key 201. Page 181. Enoch explained that the higher intelligence in Sagittarius is the governing force issuing the commands that educate all forms of intelligence in our local sun universe. Alright, let's put up on the screen the whole Mazzaroth. Alright, look at the different star fields right here. This is the Mazzaroth. This is the zodiac. They all of these clusters of stars that we see above us. This is what's governing the lower heavens down here that we on. All right, we in the lower heavens, and they're being governed by. That's what we gotta escape out of. The Mazzaroth being governed by that right there. All right, it governs the flesh. Why you heard him say in the last lesson when Yahshua was talking about going in and out of the cycle of rebirth. All right, those are the cycles. Those are the rounds right there. All right, so it's saying Sagittarius is the governing force in our local sun universe, because there's levels of intelligence in each of those fields. All right. Verse 2. This mind force extends from Sagittarius to the outer regions of evolutionary experience, the physical, the temporal regions, which we are in one, through light stations of energy called Midway stations. The mind force, the intelligence force, the consciousness force extends from Sagittarius to the outer regions of evolutionary experience through light stations of energy called Midway stations. So I get the definition of Midway station. Midway stations, programming points and clearing stations used by the many brotherhoods of light, used by the whole light beings to govern physical star fields, which the earth is a physical star field. All right, so the Midway stations are programming points. Verse 3. These Midway stations contain the genealogical records and judicial decisions for all levels of intelligence within the local embrace of their immediate stars. They also contain the weights and measures of the cosmic law that dictates the astronomical balances. For example, these weights and measures are used to guide the passing of one star system through another, preventing the annihilation of myriad life systems. All right, and so when we in the keys, the cool way that the entities set it up for it to make more sense to us, cause we visual people. All right, the movies, those sci-fi movies, Star Wars, Star Trek, all of the sci-fi movies that they done gave us is how we can process what we read in the keys to make sense of it. All right, because it's in basically the stuff that we read in the keys is in them sci-fi movies. This is where the Gentiles got a lot of the information from, our records that they didn't hear from us for the longest. All right, but you done seen movies with the star systems passing through on ships. All right, because they are ships that's hundreds of miles long. All right, motherships. Moreover, the Midway stations educate planetary intelligence, providing knowledge on all levels, from biology to astrophysics, so that we can grow towards the greater understanding of the house of many mansions. All right, but right now, the lower intelligence, the fallen angels, as we've been taught to call them, the fallen masters, they got a blockage set up to block us from receiving the signals. That's another reason why those on the other side want us to be set apart. Alright? Because we the clear communication channels for them to bring forth this higher knowledge back into the earth. Because it was took away for a time. But those that wake up and are receptive, no, we the channels that's being used to bring forth the light. And this is what's setting up the battle that they preparing for. All right, this is why the Gentiles created the Space Force within the last few decades. All right, they created the Space Force because they know what they up against. They know what they preparing for. It's just the majority of us in the dark, but not the lights. 5. The Midway stations not only program intelligence within their immediate range of solar systems, but determine star points and progressions that are used to coordinate new programs of education for intelligence evolving for the first time out of their karmic threshold and entering a new threshold. That's what we doing. All right, we coming out of being governed by the Mainebrotha. All right, we no longer being governed by the flesh. We moving back. That's part of being one with the Most High, one with the light. All right, you governed by the celestial law. You no longer governed by the laws of karma or the zodiac. All right, you moving on beyond that because you learn to conquer your flesh. You learn to conquer your emotions, your feelings, your lusts, your vices. You learn to conquer that as you purify yourself. And then that's what's causing us to shift. All right. So this is what it's speaking on. They got education set up for intelligences evolving for the first time out of their karmic threshold. We're moving out of the karmic threshold as we move back to being one with the light and entering a new threshold. That's why in the keys they talk about the sons of light. When the chariots in them return, they're going to set up academies of light. That's part of the 1,000 years of peace or whatnot. They're going to be schooling us. That's why if we don't get that stuff right now, it's cool. Right now, we just in the beginning stages of getting transformed back into who we was. All right. So that's part of preparing for extraction. All right. They giving us the work right now to elevate our mind, stimulate our, because consciousness is king, like we done seen in the other lessons. It's all about your consciousness. All right. Now they raising our consciousness so that when they get back, they gonna set up academies to train us to go farther. Our closest center for soul mapping is Arcturus, the shepherding frequency of light, which governs the preparation of man, for the coming of the brotherhoods of light. Arcturus or Ash means the good shepherd. Verse 9. Arcturus is our midway station, our programming point. It is the seat of our administration, and it's the thesaurus which holds the key documents used for governing the soul progression of our planetary intelligence. All right, this is why we seen in previous lessons, you can't choose to open your own mind's eye and all that stuff. No, this a privilege that's got set from on high. That's why the ones of us that got true faith and believe, and we follow what the Most High tell us to do, we are allowed to go on farther. But those that got hard hearts and those that's following false teachings and doctrines, they gonna get stuck because they not gonna be allowed to go farther from on high. The ones on the other side of the veil is the ones that pass us through these different grade levels. They the ones that allow us to go on farther and choose who can advance and who can't advance. All right. Verse 12, it was explained that one of the great shepherd prophets who incarnated upon this planet from Arcturus was Joseph Smith, our brother Joseph. And we know Joseph was not a Gentile, because if you read the Book of Mormon, it tells you it was the Gentiles that set him up and killed him. All right, and changed his teachings. And in the book, the lost 112 pages, it says Joseph was an Ephraimite. All right. So it was explained that one of the great shepherd prophets who incarnated upon this planet from Arcturus was Joseph Smith, who chose to serve the Father, the Most High, the higher intelligence, by coming to gather the tribe of Joseph. The tribe of Joseph. He came to the Americas in preparation for the coming of the sons of light. And you see I got scratched out the only begotten, because that's not what this referring to. That's Gentile talk right there. That's Gentile idolatry. That's what we seen in the last couple of lessons, how That's part of us being set apart. We got to get away from the idolatry of the Gentiles. Jesus was our teacher and our brother. He wasn't the only begotten. He was the first begotten. And he came to light the light of the other lights, so that there will become many more begotten. There's no such thing as only begotten when coming to the Most High, except coming from the Gentiles. All right? Because to them, white Jesus is everything and the only thing. 14. As we evolve a new astrophysics and cosmology, we cannot move ahead into this new age without taking inventory of all information which has come to us from Arcturus. We cannot ignore the shepherd guide, which stands right in front of us with the guiding staff or pointer. We must recognize that this truly is a living force of intelligence to which we must direct our attention. I'm going to throw up a picture of Arcturus so that we can see the shepherd guide. All right. And let's get back to it. As we develop the spiritual light technology to decode space signals coming in from Arcturus, pause. All right. So some of the brothers and sisters, that's going to be what you gonna be used for. The same way Nikola Tesla, the information that he was receiving to build stuff, that came from the spiritual realm right there. It were entities that gave him that information. He was a vessel that they could use to try to bring forth certain technology into the earth. And that's what's gonna happen with some of us at this time. All right? That's what some of us that's into technology and stuff like that, your mind already catered to it. But once you become closer to the Most High and the light and these teachings, you're going to get advanced in your understanding of creating technology and stuff. All right? And you're going to be used to bring in some of this different technology that's going to connect us to the other realms. On the movie Eternals, the brother that created the technology, you got entities that's over technology. So they're going to be able to work with the ones of us that's catered to technology. Just like you got entities like the ministering angels, they just into disseminating knowledge of the Most High. All right? So they are the ones that connect with the prophets on this side. They work through them. All right? You got musicians and the emissaries of light. They work with the musicians on this side, because the musicians also got a job to elevate the body. All right? And so on and so forth. All of the positions that we got on this side is ones of us on the tribe on the other side of the veil that got that same position. All right? So you'll start to see how it works hand in hand. The order of Michael, the warriors. All right? You got warriors on this side and you got warriors on that side. All right? And they'll work hand in hand, but this don't happen until we connect back to the light. All right? And then we get enhanced from the other side. Oh, let's keep going. As we develop the spiritual light technology within us to decode signals coming in from Arcturus and from their space technology orbiting within our solar system, we work with the scientific fulfillment of this key. This technology from Arcturus provides us with the knowledge of geophysical changes in relationship to larger astrophysical and spiritual transformations, which affect the entire planet during quantum evolutionary changes. This knowledge is acquired by those who seek to understand the role of the sons of light. In connection with the teaching, the sons of light have established certain pyramids in South America, which are in direct alignment with Arcturus, and which give the timetable of astrophysical and geophysical change. Arcturus is our key in uniting our cosmology and astrophysics, not with three-dimensional intelligence as we know it, but with systems of fifth to ninth dimensional intelligence, speaking on light beings, and our middle heavens. Our purpose is to merge with them, as we evolve towards the center of our galaxy and reign with the sons of light. All right, so we see once again, our purpose is to grow from within. All right, our light bodies. That's the only way we can merge back and evolve out of the three-dimensional realm. All right, and you see where it says the center of our galaxy, which we're gonna see in a second. Right now, we on the outer edge of the galaxy, but as we grow and continue, we're gonna be allowed to move back into the center, because what you're gonna see, those on the outside are on the outside looking in, and it's due to their own nature. All right, let's go back to page 61. Back to page 61. Starting at verse 1. The seventh key refers to Metatron, who receives us as we go through the gates of Orion from this sun universe into the father universe of the Elohim creators. I beheld within trapezium Orion light layers of great intensity, which revealed a series of inner heavens. A series of inner heavens. Pause. Let's get the picture. Because you know the Gentiles, they done seen all this. Look at the inner heavens right here. Look at this picture right here. Look how pretty that is. We can't see it with our bare eye, but the Gentiles got technology that they can see all this. This how they know what's going on. They know what's coming. It's part of the reason they fly all them chemtrails to make sure that we can't see it. But they got them super high-powered telescopes. All right, they know. And I'm gonna post in the description. A sister sent me a video a couple days ago about the inner heavens of Orion, and that let me know it was time to bring forth this lesson, because I already had the lesson on deck, because they give me certain lessons that I hold on to until I get the right signal to go ahead and do it. And yeah, that was my signal that it was time to go ahead and do this one, because I had been sitting on it for a while. I just hadn't felt like it was time to do it. But she had sent a video to me of the inner heavens that the Gentiles then recorded. And it's cool seeing the way that they use the technology been given to them to show that. And to see the depths of understanding that they got. The only thing that was bad about the video, that them jokers had to throw white Jesus in there. They always got to find a way to throw white Jesus in anything that got to do with heaven. All right, but ignore him and just look at the process of how they show going out into Orion's belt, into the inner heavens. All right, so let's get back to it. I beheld within trapezium Orion light layers of great intensity, which revealed a series of inner heavens, collectively forming the foundation for birth and regeneration. Pause. Let's go to page 53. Page 53, starting at verse 4. The blueprint for this physical universe in the world of unseen matter pre-exists in the higher heavens. It pre-exists in the higher heavens, in the star codes of the Pleiades. From these codes, the Elohim, Lords of Light in Orion, create the formation of the unseen mass, which is modulated by the thought forms, of the lords of light into the creation of the physical universe of mass evolution, matter evolution. Remember the lesson we did on thought forms and how thought forms are used to create in the spiritual realm. The same way, in the physical realm, we don't know it, but our thought forms give birth. Go down to verse 8. Both Kima and Kisil, the Pleiades and Orion, are cooperatively used in the programming of life synthesis from the pure light bodies of Orion into the transfigured corresponding physical forms of the Pleiadic programs. The Pleiades represents the key to physical proto-creation. It represents the galactic beginning of the physical Adamic household. But the spiritual beginning of the Adamic household starts in Orion. Alright, so let's go back to it. Back to page 61. And I was shown how Trapezium Orion, the inner heavens, the threshold gate of star creation, is in conjunction with Omega Orion, the region of star death. Let's get a visual of Omega Uranus. In this lesson, we're going to see how we connected to the stars. Alright? The luminaries above are connected to the luminaries below. Alright? And you see one of the stars up there called Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. That's where they got that from. One of the stars in the heavens in Orion. Both are aligned with the Father's throne, governing through the star region of Al-Natak, Al-Nalam, and Mantaka. Alright, let's show those again right quick. The three that we commonly know of as Orion's belt. These three star regions operate as the joint command of central control, the gateway which opens up our sun universe to the myriad star populations of our greater Father universe. Speaking on the many mansions. Alright, because we only in one small part, like in Men in Black. They said we was only in one marble out of the many marbles of the universe. The marbles in the Men in Black represented the many mansions. Alright? So we only in one marble, one part of the greater cosmos. This collective gateway in Orion permits matter energy intelligence to go on into pure fields of soul evolution. All right, and you see it said matter, so it has to be referring to us in the flesh. All right, so there's a way for us to go on into pure fields of evolution. Let's go to verse 9. The astrophysical pyramids act as focal points to energize ideas or thoughts which enable the species to evolve to the next stage of light technology, where it can begin to receive the capstone of light. Let's go to verse 16 and see what the capstone of light is. To go through the central control pyramid, which referring to Orion, towards the throne, the inner heavens, and our Father universe, requires the energies of the capstone, which is the Zohar body of light. Let's get the definition, because we're going to need it in a second. The definition of the Zohar body of light. the body vehicle of the outer light. The body vehicle of the outer light, which is separate from the inner bodies of light, that permit the body to go beyond the light of the immediate relativity, meaning this consciousness time zone that we're in right here. This body places a bond of light around the four other energy bodies so that the physical body can go between the sacred spaces of light. All right, speaking on traveling through the system like the whole light beings in the chariots. This body places a bond of light around the four other energy bodies so that the physical body can go between the sacred spaces of light, the heavens, and the profane spaces of light, such as where we at now. The Zohar body functions in trinity with the overself body. Remember, we did a lesson. If you haven't seen it, we got a lessons on the overself body. And the anointed Christ overself body, which receives direct revelation from the throne worlds of Yahweh. All right? So the Zohar body allows you to receive direct revelation from the entities. All right, now let's go back to verse 9. This capstone, speaking on the Zohar body, will take man through his technology into other worlds of light. All right, and this is what they're going to train us on when they return. All right, how to flame on like Yahshua. The Fantastic Four, you got to know that's about us. Flame on. That's what Yahshua did when he did the transfiguration on the mount. And the disciples told him that his light was too bright. He needed to cut it off. He had to flame off. We going to get the goodies. Verse 11. Metatron is the creator of the outer light. Speaking on that Zohar body of light, which penetrates the regions of formlessness, meaning the heavens, not the 3D realm, and void, allowing for the dawning of the living light of Yahweh in regions of the outer universe. All right? Meaning we can go outside of the 3D realm. Let's get the definition of Metatron right quick, because there's been some confusion in the teachings, because it's been people saying that Metatron is the Most High and that Metatron is Enoch, but that's not true. That's not true. So we gotta set everything straight. So that the Most High say, I'm not the author of confusion. So we gotta clear up the confusion, so won't nobody be confused. Metatron, the garment of Shaddai, the visible manifestation of the deity as garment of the higher consciousness, Almighty, eternal Lord and divine voice of the Father, creator of the outer worlds, teacher and guide to Enoch. All right, so that right there shows that he's not Enoch, as some of us have been taught. He's the teacher and guide to Enoch and creator of the keys. All right, so now let's go back to verse 14. Metatron, who serves the Ancient of Days. It don't say he is the Ancient of Days. It says he serves the Ancient of Days, just like Enoch, the whole light beings, and all of the rest of us. Metatron is a servant. Metatron, who serves the Ancient of Days, is to Enoch a revealer of secrets and a jurisdictional aspect of the lordship emanating from the Ancient of Days. Metatron, from the Father's bosom, delivers to Enoch the books, just like this book that we read now right now. Enoch received it from on high. It was installed into him from Metatron, and from there he transcribed it and delivered it and hid it up for us. Metatron, from the Father's bosom, delivers to Enoch the books of the court of Yahweh to be transcribed for the sun universes and the lower planetary worlds. Metatron gives knowledge of the higher consciousness, the supreme consciousness. Because remember, the Father is not a man like we've been taught. That's part of us being set apart from the camps and from the churches. They look at the Most High as a man with feelings and emotions and carnal thoughts. Nah. The Supreme, the Most High, is the supreme consciousness. That's why he said you will be destroyed for lack of knowledge. No, his children seek knowledge because he is the supreme consciousness. Knowledge increases your consciousness. It increases your light. Your light shine harder. All right, which ties into your body's a light. Your consciousness increase the flame, the light within. All right. So that's how we chase after the Most High. We chase knowledge, which increase our consciousness and increase our light, because the Most High is the Father of light. He is the supreme consciousness. So as we increase our consciousness, that's how we chase the Most High. And that's how we come closer to the Most High. This is why we gotta get set apart from the churches and the camps. Metatron gives knowledge of the Father to all star universes, so that they have a central core, a central teaching in the name of the Most High. Metatron is star ionization or alignment or Orion knowledge to every star which is created, so that it is unified with the core memory. So it is unified with knowledge of self. So it is unified with the remembrance in the center of the galaxy. Speaking on the inner heavens that we just read about. And Metatron gives knowledge of Zay unto Ion, meaning projected light crystal consciousness. That's what he gives. Higher consciousness, which the prophets called Zion. Metatron gives this light consciousness to those who are working with the throne. Remember, I told you the higher teachings are coding our consciousness. And this right here is what it's saying right here. Metatron gives light consciousness to those who are working with the throne. To work with the throne, you got to be in alignment with the laws. This is why your consciousness got to be purified. And you got to be separate from those that's chasing after the lust of their flesh and all that lower vibrational stuff, the things of the world. That's why Yahshua said he came to set us apart. He came to be in the world, but not of the world. All right, you can enjoy the things of the world, but don't get caught up like the people of the world to where you're not still chasing after the light. All right, chasing after the light, it allows Metatron to give you the light consciousness. All right, they then become the active recipients who promulgate the law of the living light. The celestial law. That's why it's important to follow what the Most High say. If the Most High say you gotta stop eating meat to go farther, it shouldn't be a problem to put down the animal flesh. And he said that's what he needs you to do so you can go farther, higher. All right? if you read in the Gospel of the Nazarenes, when Judas tried to bring a lamb to Yahshua for the Passover, he was insulted. Judas was not initiated into the mysteries. All right? All of the other disciples knew. They knew he didn't eat no doggone animal flesh. But Judas ain't know, because he wasn't one of the 12. He wasn't initiated into the mysteries like we seen in the last lesson. All right? And the Most High said you got to get over the lust of your flesh and the things of the world. No, it's for your own benefit. It's not to torture you at night. It's for your own benefit. That's why you can't be getting high every day. Alright? You can't be out here having sex with all these different people, absorbing their energy and their demons and what vibrations they own. Nah. What he's trying to do is increase our light from within so that he can take us higher. And that's why I say those chosen who chose to be chosen, because you voluntarily follow the law. You steady trying to increase and grow to advance higher and higher in this school that we in down here. All right? Thus, it is written, the law shall go forth out of Zion from the spiritual lights, from the spiritual Israel upon this earth. However, the spiritual Israel is the coordination of all races of man. All right, and all this is saying right here is we gotta weed out our brothers and sisters that's then got locked into different races to bring them back home to the original program, so that all mankind who are lights can be brought to salvation from the kingdoms of flesh into the kingdoms of light. All right, and this is speaking on the Gentiles that choose to cleave. All right, and if you see the way it's wrote, that's the way the Gentiles do, because they like to involve themselves and make it seem as though all of us are one. But if you go to page 50, it shows that that's not true. Page 50, verse 55. At this point in our consciousness time zone, the celestial lords of light will come back by order of the galactic command in Orion, which governs many universes, to save the Adamic seed. They will deliver their seed and the seed of the other nations. That's referring to the Gentiles that are to be grafted in because they have faith and they cleave to us. All right. Now let's go back. All right. So that's showing how the Gentiles try to modify the teachings. But let's keep going. Those kingdoms, verse 19. Hold on. Those kingdoms which do not survive are kingdoms of fallen darkness. And it's speaking about kingdoms of flesh, like we just read. All right. The kingdoms of flesh which do not survive are kingdoms of fallen darkness. They don't want the light. They want to remain in darkness. They do not have sufficient knowledge. They do not have high enough consciousness and light to pass into the central core of the great universes where there exist multi-evolutions of consciousness communication. These intelligences must stay out on the edge of the galaxies. All right, so if you look up in the sky, like in the night sky, when we can see Orion's belt, all right, that's the inner heavens where that is at. We're on the outer edge right now of the galaxy. All right, and remember, all of the globe and all that stuff is a lie. All right, the way the Gentiles, the NASA deceived us with all of that stuff, how they done gave us all those images. That's not true. All right, but we on the outer edge of the galaxy. But there's a way that we can get back into the inner heavens and they travel. But those that stuck with a carnal consciousness are going to continuously come back to worlds on the outer edge of the galaxies. And that's what it's saying right here. These fallen intelligences, unredeemed intelligences, carnal intelligences must stay out on the edge of the galaxies and play out their chemical destruction. To permit them to go on would allow them to interfere and destroy other life because they can't follow the celestial law. All right? Those that cannot renew their mind and get a spiritual understanding of life, they got ways and habits that destroy life. Let's go to page 73, key 108. Now let's get the understanding of the Sphinx. Enoch explained how the vehicle of the pyramid Sphinx has been placed in the middle of the earth as a living model of man's destiny to indwell in a higher evolutionary body once he can center his solar and magnetic energy within the alignment of the pyramid, which is the architecture of space. Furthermore, it shows how the mind of the higher evolution is able to travel through our sun system and embody its consciousness in our solar evolution. All right? Our soul's evolution. All right? And that ties to the lesson we did on thought forms. How we able to take on their thought forms, but we got to purify ourselves to receive them. 2. Thus, the pyramid Sphinx is an educational vehicle showing how the Brotherhood of Light can interpenetrate the pyramidal space of man so that the race of man can be synthesized into new forms of light embodiments to go beyond our immediate sun system. The Sphinx symbolizes our body of space and time within the lion sun evolution that must be conquered, the soul evolution that must be conquered by man before he can wear the face of brilliance, the face of light, and then dwell in the presence of the master architects of light. Speaking on the brotherhoods. To teach man, the masters of light only need to project their mind, their thought forms, their mind, their consciousness to our consciousness fields. That's what we seen in the lesson on thought forms. All right? Since they have evolved into whole light bodies capable of using a thought form technology to interpenetrate our solar spectrum with their power of light. So again, to teach man, the masters of light only need to project their mind to our consciousness fields, since they have evolved into whole light bodies capable of using a thought form technology to interpenetrate our solar spectrum with their power of light. This allows them to teach dust world creations to evolve beyond the evolutionary face of their sun, and become sons of God, meaning children of the light. All right? This is why the system spends so much money on programming, to dumb us down and to lower our consciousness so that we cannot purify our minds to connect with the thought forms of those on the other side of the veil. This is a tag team. Remember, we saying that we part of a galactic tribe, but we are the ones that are incarnated on this side of the veil. but there are ones on the other side, such as in Black Panther, when you see them go into the ancestral realm after drinking the juice. All right? The ancestral realm is those on the other side of the galactic tree of life. They work with us on this side. But we got to purify ourselves for them to connect to us. All right? For the ancestors and the beings of light to work with us. The emissaries of light. Verse 4. The pyramid Sphinx symbolizes how the mind of the higher intelligence must center itself within our solar evolution in order to educate man to use the magnetic lines of force and to build consciousness pyramids, which are the keys to open up the threshold controls necessary to leave our consciousness time zone. And remember when we seen the definition of pyramid? Let's get it again. The select pyramid time clocks built in various planetary sectors by earlier rounds of higher intelligence for watching or directing the destiny of an experiment. All right? So the pyramids are used to elevate us. Let's go. Now, we're going to see an example of that. This is why they keep Negroes out the pyramids, because they understood what we used to use them for. Page 75, verse 15. Orion must be understood as giving forth the positive sword of light to cut through the magnetic fields of biological, physical, carnal limitation. We must understand the laws of light from Orion as giving us this consciousness model of the solar Sphinx to rise to a newborn creation beyond the negative energy of the immediate magnetic field or the immediate consciousness time zones. Man must understand why the ancients regarded Orion, the region M's Isk, as the princely region among the stars. As it is said in the pyramid text, Orion, the father of the gods, has given a certificate of life creation as a greater power. The pyramid texts also speak of the builders of the pyramid, the nine, who programmed in the direction of Orion. In your name of dweller in Orion, with the season in the sky and a season on earth. O Osiris, turn your face and look on this king, for your seed which issue from you is effective. And another text gives forth this sacred message. The sky conceives thee together with Orion. The dawn bears thee together with Orion. Live the one who liveth at the order of the gods, and so will thou live. These three fragments from the ancient Egyptian scriptures of light show the direct relationship between the pyramid and Orion through the body of death and resurrection of the ascended master, Osiris. And as we look deeper at the meaning of the pyramid, we are to understand how it gives the model for human consciousness programming and consciousness resurrection. All right? And remember, as we increase the ley lines and everything, because we connected with all of the spirit of the earth. And as we rise up, everything else begins to rise up with us. The pyramids are going to become activated again as we increase. They were part of the reason for the fight so hard to keep us dumbed down. That's why we are the time clocks. Our consciousness is everything. All right? As our consciousness increase, it changes the whole landscape of the earth. That was part of our punishment during the time of Yahshua. We didn't want the higher consciousness. So what the Most High did, he set the Gentiles up to rule over us. All right? Because he knew it was a plan eventually that will bring us back. All right? Because we had got to such a low level that, nah, we ain't want none of this higher knowledge. We're not the majority. We ain't want that. All right? Let's get it. And as we look deeper at the meaning of the pyramid, we are to understand how it is the model for human consciousness programming. They like antennas. And consciousness resurrection. For in it, we have the mathematics of why the ancients set the head of the soul journeyer facing south at the bottom of the mastaba shafts. For it was to help the soul join the lords of light of Orion. Thus, the star shafts in the Great Pyramid are intended as the introductory ways of consciousness preparation, whereby not only Osiris' soul, but the souls of all those who have been initiated into the pyramid might actually ascend to join the masters, Enoch, Haru, Tahuti, and all masters who have served the councils of light in Orion. To this end, the pyramid can be understood as the model for consciousness exodus from one three-dimensional time set within the Earth's magnetic fields into a multi-dimensional evolution controlled by Orion in the regions of the higher intelligence. This is the sacred region of the sky. The Egyptians called it Sak, the Tibetans called Tak, and the Hebrews called it Kisil. Alright? Now, we see why. The key to the universe is on Orion's belt. The home of the Adamic race. Alright? Peace.